Hey everybody, it's Jordan here again with Major Hi-Fi, and today we've got another really cool review. We've got the Feliks Audio NV Performance Edition in, and I can't wait to break that down for you. It was really a special experience to listen to it. But first, if you like videos like these and you want more like them, definitely go ahead and subscribe and like down below. It helps the channel and it will help you get more videos just like this right in your feed. So if you've been following the channel lately, you know we've taken a little bit of a dive into high-end tube amplifiers. Recently we had the Fez Audio Omega Loopy, and today we've got the Feliks Audio NV Performance Edition. Clocking in at a grand total of $8,795 for the oak version and $8,995 for the walnut version. This amp is definitely no joke. Given that this amp is really the top of the line of what you could do, I was excited to pair it with a few of my favorite headphones and see what it could do. And I actually got different results with different headphones. All pretty good, but I'm not going to spoil anything. Let's just get into the video right now. In the box, you'll get a matched pair of CV181 6SN7 driver tubes, as well as a matched pair of power tubes. This is the 300B tube. You've also got the AC cord, a user manual, and a warranty card. The core of the NV is a robust metal chassis. This sturdy structure with that metal chassis is complemented by its all-wood exterior. This is the walnut version. It's beautiful, it's oiled, it's beautifully crafted. On the front of the device, you've got your 4-pin XLR output as well as your 6.3 millimeter output. You've got a touch capacitive power switch. You've got your volume knob, and then you've got your gain selector and your input selector. And the back panel also features RCA inputs and outputs as well as XLR inputs and outputs with preamplifier settings controlled through the volume knob. Now, the design for this device gets really involved, so I'm actually going to read off the specs to make sure I get everything right. The NV utilizes point-to-point wiring technology with custom-made single crystal copper with Teflon insulation for all connections. Driving your volume control is an Alps RK27 potentiometer, which is known for its precision. As for tubes, it uses a two-stage preamplifier featuring CV181 tubes and high-end coupling capacitors, and directly heated 300B tubes for the power stage. Now, as far as gain and headphone compatibility, the gain switch allows you to use headphones of all sorts. The low gain is meant for easy to drive headphones. The middle gain is for most planar magnetics and most dynamic headphones that are up to 300 ohms. And then the high gain is for anything that's 300 to 600 ohms or a super demanding planar magnetic headphone. And this is cool, when set to middle gain, you actually can use speakers. So speakers with a recommended sensitivity of over 94 decibels can be connected to the 6.3 millimeter headphone output, and that can deliver approximately 5 watts of output power. Generally speaking, for your headphones, this is also going to get you about 5 watts of power, although it can go up to 8, and that will raise distortion levels quite a bit though. Now with that out of the way, how does the NV sound? I tried this out with a few different headphones, namely the Abyss Diana MR, the Final Audio D8000 Pro, and the Sennheiser HD800S. All really did give me kind of unique results, which I thought was really cool from this amp. It's going to pair uniquely with each of your headphones. But let's get into the specifics with each headphone, and we'll start out with the D8000 Pro. So something I really noticed on the D8000 Pro was the sense of texture. That was really what stood out to me the most. Listening to tracks like Black Star and Lazarus by David Bowie, all of the string instruments just had this beautiful physicality to it. I could really hear the bows rubbing against the strings. It was just a great sense of detail. And then on top of that, there was a really nice sense of space. So this texture just really had a lot of space to ruminate around the sound of the headphones. The low end had a nice mid-bass bloom, and mid-range was perfectly clear, and again, the texture here was to die for. The top end was crisp, treble was clear and present. It wasn't overly smooth like some tube amps can tend to be. Overall, the sound signature and the frequency response was just kind of exactly what I like, and I like a warm, lush sound, and that's exactly what the NV is delivering. Moving on to the Diana MR, this is where things really got cool to me. I mean, this was probably my favorite pairing of the three. The sense of space you get with the Diana MR with the Envy is maybe second to none. Maybe the Susvara is a better pairing, and you're talking about like top of the line there. But the Diana MR just had a great sense of soundstage and imaging. You got a sense of where the instruments were, but you also got a sense of where the instruments weren't. You could feel the empty space in the room and those empty tones. With the Diana MR, bass was a little bit less impactful than the D8000 Pro, but it was still nice and warm and enjoyable to listen to. The mid-range, just like the D8000 Pro, was present and clear, although maybe a little bit more laid back compared to the D8000 Pro. And then the treble really stood out with the Diana MR. It was clear and pristine, and the treble cut through the mix very precisely. The effect I got with the Diana MR, I'd almost compare to an OLED TV, where OLED TVs have their dimming. They don't dim, actually. They have their pixels turn off completely when there's no light coming out of them. And that's how the music sounds coming out of the Diana MR. It's almost like there's an absence of music in the space when an instrument isn't playing in the mix. And now finally we'll get into the pairing with the Sennheiser HD800S. Now of course this is a transformer coupled design. I don't think I mentioned that in the design portion, but it is transformer coupled as opposed to OTL, so you'll be able to use your planar magnetics with no problem with this one. However, I wanted to make sure I tried out a dynamic headphone too, just to make sure that everything was consistent across the board and just to see how different headphones paired and got different sounds. And the first thing I noticed with the HD800S was the scalability that this thing brings. You'd think, oh, I'll use an $8,000 headphone amp with a $2,000 headphone. Who knows if the synergy will be there? But I definitely found the synergy to be there. It definitely scaled the HD800S to a higher performance. I got better bass response than I'm used to. I got a warmer mid-range than I'm used to. Overall, the characteristics of the HD800S just became a bit warmer and a little bit more tactile and more up my alley. So evaluating an amp like the Envy can be tough because of its price point and all of its features and how it sounds. And the reason it's tough is just because this isn't for your average consumer. This is for somebody who has the budget to go for the top of the line of the audio heap. That's exactly what this is. So if you're looking for something unique, something that's going to push your headphones to the top of what they can do, then the Envy is for you. It's also a great thing to save for if you're looking to save for a top-of-the-line tube amp, a showpiece. That's what this is. So honestly, nothing bad to say about the Envy amp. It's really fantastic, and you should definitely give it a listen whenever you can. So that just about does it for this video with Major Hi-Fi. Again, I'm Jordan, and if you liked what you saw, like and subscribe down below. It helps the channel, and it'll help you get more videos just like this. We'll see you next time.